Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Globe Guide podcast. So, today is our awaited, I'm assuming, continuation of talking about passion projects. This is part 2 of a 2-part episode series on passion projects. So, the first part from 2 weeks ago covers the basics of a passion project and some easy ideas, like the really, really easy ideas I have for you guys, about 10 of them. So, if you haven't already listened to that episode, please go listen to that first. But today we're continuing with the medium and hard passion project ideas. I decided to split this episode up into 2 parts because it was like getting really, really long. So I was like, okay, 2 parts it is. So it's a bit of an awkward split, but like to the best solution I could think of. Um, but yeah, anyways, it's fine. So let's start with our podcast updates and life updates. So for podcast updates, there's not a lot going on, but as I mentioned, I think on the last episode 2 weeks ago, I did recently hit 3,000 all-time plays and downloads, which is a huge achievement for me, and I'm very happy for that. So my goal by the end of this year is 4,000, and I did do the math. It's a bit ambitious, but if you guys help me out, we can definitely get there. And then for life updates, there's actually some pretty exciting stuff going on, at least for me, because like normally there's not much going on this time of year. Last Saturday, I had an award ceremony, essentially back in February, actually, so a while ago. I entered this poetry contest. It was a local poetry contest, and then I found out I was selected as a finalist, and there was an award ceremony for all the finalists at the festival on last Saturday, May 16th. So I went. Me and my dad went. We had to drive like an hour. It was chaos. Yeah, I had to wake up at 6 a.m. But we went, and I didn't get top 3. The top 3 got cash prizes, but I didn't get top 3. However, funny story. So basically, we were there, right? I live in Virginia. For those of you who don't know that, I do live in Virginia, and the award ceremony was in Gaithersburg, which is in Maryland. So essentially the next state over, but it's like really close, even though it is in a different state. It's really close by. Well, I mean, it wouldn't say it's really close by. It was like an hour drive. Yeah, because it was in the morning, so not a lot of traffic. But yeah, we drove down there and we had an award ceremony. So the mayor of that area, Gaithersburg, he was announcing stuff, and he was announcing everyone's names and their poems, and he announced mine, and he was like, "Oh, I have an extra story about this one." So obviously, I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna listen to that." And he said, so essentially, he said he read my poem at the end of his State of the City address, which is basically a speech he gives to the big important people of Gaithersburg. So that was really exciting. He did read my poem, and like that was really nice. I was very proud of that. So I was like, oh yeah, I went in my own way. But yeah, that's that. And then what else? I had like my science essentially end of year test on last Wednesday. It went well, actually. I thought I really and truly failed. You need at least a 400 out of 600 to pass, which is literally a D, but like I seriously thought I failed. But no, I didn't. I actually passed advanced. I got a 509 out of 600. So, yay me. And then yesterday and today was like my friend's birthday sleepover, so that was really fun. I came home at 3 p.m. today, and then I slept until like 9:15, took a shower, ate, and I'm currently recording this podcast episode, and it's going to be up probably the minute before it's supposed to like publish. Normally, I set my episodes to publish at midnight, so 12 a.m. on Monday. And it's currently 11:24 p.m. So, kind of cutting it close here today, but it's fine. Anyways, so the sleepover was really fun. Happy birthday to her, and that was really great. Life's going good. Okay, so before moving on, let's do one thing we're grateful for and one thing we're happy about, plus our book of the week. Okay, one thing I'm grateful for is having supportive friends, because I mean, I'm the kind of person that has a lot of like friends, but not a lot of close friends. So I'm really and truly grateful for my close friends, because these are the people that cheer you on when no one else will. These are the people who care when no one else will. So I'm really and truly thankful to have amazing friends in my life, because they're probably the only reason I'm sane. So yeah. And then one thing I'm happy about, there's 3 freaking weeks left of school. That's always exciting. Is this week, next week, and the week after, and then done. It is summer. And I'm very excited for it to be summer. I'm very done with school. Yeah. Like, my grades are not going well. It's not going well for me. But yeah, I literally just want the year to be over. But like, it's also kind of sad though, because like, this is my freshman year of high school. And for those of you who have any understanding of this, all my older friends are like, "Oh yeah, enjoy your freshman year. It's like literally the only good year." I'm like, "Oh gosh." I'm really excited for the year to be over because obviously it's kind of my year has been kind of hellish. And I'm like done. I'm so done with school and like I kind of just want to be done with homework. I hate it. So I yeah, as you can tell, I really just want to be done with school, but also at the same time, that means summer's coming, and after summer, guess what it is? My sophomore year, and I feel like I'm getting really old really fast, and it doesn't really help that I'm literally one of my like, I'm the oldest person in my friend group. Speaking of which, that brings me to my next little life thing that I forgot about. The one thing I'm happy about is that I get my learner's permit in a week. I'm very excited. My appointment is on June 1st. So my birthday is December 1st, right? And that means at 15 years and 6 months, I can get my learner's permit. And I am like dead set on driving ASAP. And I told my dad, I told him so many times, I'm like, I'm driving on June 1st. I don't care what you say. You better be booking that appointment for June 1st. So I didn't think he'd actually do it, but my dad did book the appointment. It is on June 1st. I get to leave school early and go take a permit test. So that is really, really exciting. I'm really, really excited for that, except I'm a little bit screwed. I really, really need to lock in and study for my permit test because I took a practice test on drivingtest.org and I got a freaking 45%. So on my permit test, there's going to be 2 sections. There's going to be a road signs test. It's essentially 10 questions on like road signs, and you need to get all 10 right. So, or you fail the test, like the permit test automatically. Okay. And then the second part is it's like general road knowledge. Like, what do you do when this happens? What do you do when that happens? Stuff like that. Yeah, essentially like a lot of stuff about crashes and how things work and like lines on the road, I guess. I don't really know how to explain it. But you need at least an 85% in my state to pass that. So 45% is a bit off the benchmark. I really need to study for that, but I'm so, so excited, like, more than anything to drive. I've been wanting to drive since I was a little girl. I think every person has, honestly, especially, like, the independent ones, because I have, like, an independent streak, so I'm really, really excited to drive, and then our book of the week is I am actually reading a book. I will explain in a minute, but I did start reading another book, and it's called Different Kinds of Minds by Temple Grandin. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But essentially, it's essentially as it sounds. It talks about like different kinds of thinkers and how they do, and like famous people who were different kinds of thinkers, essentially. And it's a really, really interesting book. Neuroscience stuff or neuroscience adjacent stuff, thinking stuff, like this kind of stuff has always interested me. So it's a really good book. I definitely recommend you read it. It has helped me understand a lot, actually, of unique perspectives about the way I think and why I suck at art class, despite being, right brain, like creative person. Despite being creative, I absolutely suck at art. And I'm the kind of creative that's really good at writing essays, right? And then I have my friend who is amazing, 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 amazing at art, but cannot write for the life of her. She has said that herself before. I am not insulting her. I would never do that. But she has said that herself. So that really helped. There was an interesting section on that. Um, I definitely recommend you read the book. It is really interesting, actually, to learn about the different ways people think. I don't know. That's just something that's always interested me. Okay, so that was a bit of a long-winded intro. So let's get right into it with the first medium difficulty and time commitment passion project idea, which is to start like a tutoring thing, start a tutoring or mentorship program. This is one that works very comfortably within the 4 to 7 hours per week. Speaking of which, all these medium ones, they're pretty medium in difficulty, but namely time commitment, they take about 4 to 7 hours a week. But this one is very, very doable within 4 to 7 hours a week. If you're an expert in a subject and you like to help people, then why not? Tutoring is a bit more of a generic thing that people do, but if you can show real impact and actually help people, then it still works really well for college applications. I would assume that the subject you're strongest in would be one that connects to your future major or career path because there's like a connection there, right? If you want to study engineering, it's probably because you like math and science or you're good at them or something like that. It's all connected. Anyways, so take the subject you're strongest in and tutor younger kids in that subject. You can probably tutor like middle schoolers. You can dedicate an hour or two to preparing materials for the tutoring sessions. Like you can review material and create mini lessons. It's not just busy work. It's a chance to get more involved in a subject you love and you're good at and really develop your skills. And then next you want to spend a couple more hours actually like tutoring, right? You want to teach these kids. You might have 1 or 2 students you tutor each week. These sessions could be done online if the kids are like middle schoolers, but if they are younger than that, I would definitely recommend to do it in person, because I find that it works as someone who has worked with kids in the past, I find that it works way better to work with really young children in person, because it's just like the way they learn. They're kids. I mean, what do you expect for them to sit in front of a screen and just like listen? They don't do that. So anyways, it works significantly better to do things in person than have kids sit there and stare at a screen. And then after these sessions, you want to take about maybe an hour in the week to follow up and get some feedback. This is a crucial step in the learning process, and it also helps you document everything. Finally, you want to take at least a little bit of time for like managing things. Like this could include scheduling, promotion of your tutoring program, or recruiting new students. Taking on a project like this shows colleges that you're dedicated, responsible, and skilled in a subject. It's not just about tutoring, it's about developing and showcasing skills that will be invaluable in college and beyond. Okay, so with the rapidly declining state of the planet and such these days, sustainability is working itself into literally everything. So what you could do is you could start a local environmental initiative, such as a community garden or conservation project. This is one that seems kind of like daunting, but can actually very comfortably fit within the 4 to 7 hours if you manage it right. Completely achievable. That also depends on what exactly you do. Some things, yeah, sure, they might take longer than 4 to 7 hours a week, but it really depends on how you pull it off. Anyways, so each week you want to dedicate maybe an hour or two to planning and organization, identify what needs to be done, source materials, and coordination with any other volunteers. It's not just logistics, it's about learning project management skills and strategic planning. Next, you want to spend a few hours executing your plan, actually doing things, whether that's getting your hands dirty in a garden, sorting recyclables, or planting trees. This is where you see your plans come to life. It's an opportunity to learn more about environmental science and make a tangible difference in your community. After that, spend an hour or so on engaging with your community. This could involve educating others about your project, coordinating community involvement days, or advocating for environmental issues. This part of the project isn't just about your specific initiative. It's about raising awareness and inspiring others to take action. Finally, use any remaining time to manage and grow your project. This could be anything from seeking donations to social media promotion, or even partnering with local schools or organizations. Taking on a project like this not only shows your commitment to environmental issues, but also showcases your leadership skills, project management abilities, and community involvement. The next medium passion project idea is one that combines community involvement, leadership, and a commitment to health and well-being. Consider starting some sort of community fitness initiative. This is a perfect one if you love staying active, enjoy socializing, and are passionate about encouraging others to embrace a healthy lifestyle. It is also one that seems like so much work, but is definitely possible within 4 to 7 hours a week. Whether it's a running group, a yoga club, or running sessions for a sport you're really good at for younger kids, this project is really flexible and also tons of fun. It showcases leadership because organizing and running something like this requires planning, coordination, and motivating others. It also highlights your community involvement. A fitness project that benefits your local community and shows that you care about you can really be like impactful because, well, I mean, you care. It's good that you care about your community. It's good that you will give back. And also, it emphasizes a commitment to health and wellness. It is a valuable quality to demonstrate. This project is really good if you want to do something related to health and wellness in the future. I don't know. A lot of people like go down the medicine path, or they're just like passionate about it too. Like passion is the key here. Or also if you want to study like sports medicine, sports marketing, management, I don't know, something like that. The key is really your enthusiasm and dedication. Choose a fitness activity that you love and it will truly shine. Passion project idea number 4 is creating mini documentaries on something you're passionate about. This is a great one because mini documentaries aren't really that time consuming, and it's also very adaptable for literally any interest you could possibly be interested in. This is perfect for anyone who has who is passionate about storytelling, research, or video editing and production. You can choose topics for these mini documentaries that truly interest you. This could be anything from highlighting local heroes in your community, exploring interesting historical events, or discussing scientific things, whatever you might want to. With the help of video editing software, you could then compile your research into a compelling and informative mini documentary. This one is great for college applications because it highlights your research and analytical skills, as you would need to gather and understand a whole bunch of complicated information about your topics. Secondly, it demonstrates your creative and technical abilities in video production and editing. Lastly, it demonstrates your storytelling abilities and ability to present information in an engaging way. This is great for anyone who's interested in film, history, journalism, communications, but since it's so flexible, you can adapt it to literally anything. Also, the digital skills you gain are valuable to any field. The next idea, which is really great for creating impact, is launching a petition to do something or introduce something in your community that will help something you care about. If you care about the environment, start a petition to introduce compost bins. If you care about social issues, start a petition for more inclusive school policies or request improvements in local public facilities for people with disabilities. If you care about animal welfare, you might start a petition for creating a local animal shelter or start a petition against the use of harmful pesticides that endanger bees. I knew this girl in one of my classes. She started a petition for what was it? AI-based progress testing in education or something similar to that. It was something with AI and testing. I don't know. But the possibilities are really endless when it comes to starting a petition. This is a really adaptable one for many different interests. Depending on what you care about or what you want to study after high school, you can create a petition for anything. But it doesn't just stop at launching a petition. Petitions are about gathering support and raising awareness. So share your petition with your schools, on social media, with family and friends, anyone. The more people who know about your cause, the more likely it is that you will get the support you desperately need. Keep your supporters updated to keep them engaged. And what if it's successful? Keep the next ideas running. Always be thinking, what do I do next? If it's a total bust, then how can you continue advocating for your cause? Is there anything you might do to hopefully revive it? Is there anything else you can do to try and change what you want to change? It's not just about the end results. It's about the journey. Okay, medium passion project idea number 6 is creating a creative community workshop series. This one, again, is really good for impact, and it's not too complex. It's a great combination of services with education. Essentially, what you do is you organize a series of workshops on something you're essentially an expert in at your local library or somewhere local. Local libraries are really great for these sorts of things. Workshops are a fantastic way to share your skills and interests with others while giving back to your community. If you have a gift for storytelling, why not organize a creative writing workshop for kids? Wonderful opportunity to inspire young minds and build their love of writing. Or if you're into tech, a digital literacy workshop for the elderly can be so incredibly helpful. A lot of these seniors have no idea how to keep up with this fast-paced digital world. They would really appreciate a Gen Z voice on this. You could teach essential skills from using social media to connecting with loved ones online, or as a high schooler, a really good idea is creating a workshop series on young adult life skills for middle schoolers. These workshops could cover almost anything you can think of that they would need to know as they grow into young adults, whether that be time management, beating procrastination, or using AI in education. The key here is to find something you're passionate about and which expertise you can share with others. Very adaptable to many interests as well. The next idea is creating your own zine. A lot of people don't know what zines are, but basically they're just mini magazines that are in small circulation and self-published work. It can feature text, images, art, poetry, really anything you care about. It could be an artistic zine full of your own original sketches, a literary zine featuring your poems, a commentary zine discussing social issues that matter to you. The possibilities are literally endless, so it can be adapted to any interest. Anyways, once you have chosen a topic, you can just start creating. Just create. You can write articles, you can create artwork, or you can even invite submissions from others if you're open to that. This process not only allows you to dive deeper into your chosen subject, but also helps you develop valuable skills like editing, layout design, and project management. You can choose to release your zine digitally or print copies. My personal preference is digital because it can reach a wider audience. Also, everything's digital these days. But share it with your school and your community. Make people know that it exists. Zines are not difficult at all, and they seem like a lot of fun to do. You can release new zines however you want. I would say releasing a new one every month could be a great starting point. You can really release whenever you want as long as you stay consistent. Consistency is always better than volume. realign doing one every month should be enough time to develop content, design the layout, and manage distribution, and document everything. Don't forget that. Collect feedback, the whole 9 yards if you want this to work. Okay, so those were all the medium difficulty passion project ideas I had. I didn't actually have a lot because it's really difficult. A lot of these ideas I had were either really, really easy or really, really hard, not really anything that fit in the medium category. Obviously they aren't impossible, but yeah. Okay, so now we're moving on to the bigger things, like the much harder or bigger time commitment stuff. Obviously, these things are things you can still do as a high school student, but they are a lot more difficult than previous ones, and they take a lot of time, anywhere from 8 to 10 hours or more per week. But don't let that scare you away. Don't let that scare you away for not even a second. These are the projects that are actually the most impactful and rewarding on this list, and some of my personal favorites are in here too, so do not be scared. Okay, first idea, and obviously my favorite idea on this entire list is launching a podcast. I will vouch for this passion project idea to everyone who cares to listen. I love my podcast. It is my favorite thing I do. I could spend hours and hours working on this thing and not get bored, ever. I absolutely love it. A podcast is really just the best one on this list, although I am very, very biased. Take that as you will. Anyways, anyone can start a podcast. I started a podcast at 12 years old, just for fun, just for the fun of it, and to see where I have gotten it. Just take a look at where I have gone so much further than I ever could have imagined, and I'm so incredibly happy about that. I have grown to now 91 episodes, over 3,000 total plays all time, reached more than 50 countries, 5-star ratings, and I have been recognized as a top 100 FeedSpot healthy lifestyle podcast. I have made it to the top 50% of all active podcasts out there. And I am very close to reaching a point that less than 1% of all podcasters ever get to, and that is 100 episodes. I could be at 100 episodes in literally 2 months. That's insane to me. Apparently, less than 1% of podcasters ever make it to that point. And I'm doing that as a high school student, which is something I'm very, very proud of. It is truly insane to me how something I started just purely for fun, grew to be one of my biggest assets. And it could be like that for you too. You really never know. All you need is a voice. A voice is it. The rest will figure itself out. If you have ideas on something and you want to share them, then you're set. You don't need a microphone. You don't need money. You don't need anything fancy. Just set up an account on Spotify for creators. That's what I use. It's so insanely easy to use, and it costs absolutely nothing. You're going to record episodes using iOS voice memos. Nothing fancy. Your ideas are what matter here, not audio perfection. Then you're going to upload the file to Riverside and use the very basic AI editing tools to enhance the episode a bit. Then you upload and it's done. Like I said, podcasting takes a lot of time and patience though, much more than you think, but it is so incredibly worth it. Another really great passion project idea is launching a blog. I really, really want to launch a blog soon, but I don't know if I can do it with all my other commitments already. We'll see. But a blog is a really, really great way to share your voice on something. Like with a podcast, all you really need are ideas. The rest will work itself out. And if you don't like to talk, write instead. A blog seems huge and complex, but I can assure you it is really not. I have done research. First, you want to come up with a domain name, anything you want. Go on instantdomainsearch.com and see if it's viable and where you can get it cheapest. Then you find a hosting platform. There are many different ones out there, and Bluehost seems to be really good. I don't really know. I've read a lot of reviews and stuff, and Bluehost seems to be like one of the top ones that's like mentioned a lot. Bluehost, also DreamHost, but I think Bluehost is cheaper. I don't know. Obviously, budget is something you want to try and stay conscious of since you are a student. But yeah, you're going to create an account and you're going to pick a subscription. You don't need anything fancy. You can pick one of the cheap ones. Then there's a lot of content management systems. This is essentially what you use to actually build and manage your blog. WordPress.org is by far one of the best based on my research. It's free, 100% free. It's like a software you download. Endless customization, and it helps you create something really professional to show to colleges. The only downside is that since it's so like there's so much freedom with it, right? It takes a lot of time to learn it, but it's ultimately worth it. Writing blog posts is not hard. Essentially, you want to write like you talk. Like I try to say refined conversation Obviously, you're not gonna, stumble that much. You're gonna try and avoid filler words, but you wanna write like you talk without the unnecessary stuff. So polished conversation, think of it like that. Easy as that. And they don't have to be long either, just, anywhere from, 500 to 1,000 words should be good for basic stuff. You might stretch a little bit longer for the more complex things. Post on a schedule that works for you. For some, that may be twice a week, and for some, it may be once a month. Consistency always wins. All you really need to do is start. Third passion project idea is starting a nonprofit, and I know that sounds huge and unrealistic and terrifying as a high school student. I didn't even know high school students could launch nonprofits until recently, but yes, they can. This is really ambitious, but it is so incredibly rewarding, and it can really work if you're truly driven and you care about it. First, you need to clearly define everything. What is the mission here? What issue is your nonprofit trying to address? How will your nonprofit solve this issue? And then once you have that done, the first step is filing for incorporation. This process varies based on where you live, so check the specific requirements, but this provides legal protection and can get you tax-exempt status, which is very beneficial because obviously you don't have to pay taxes. And then after the incorporation, you will need to file for a tax expedition. Once this is approved, your organization will officially be recognized as a nonprofit. Next, you start organizing things. You will need to create bylaws, you will need to appoint a board of directors, and hold your first official board meeting. These steps ensure that your nonprofit operates smoothly and is legally bound. Now you can begin the real work, which may involve fundraising, advocacy, or providing services. The goal is to not just say, I founded a nonprofit and nothing else. You started something, you created something that raised X amount of money, helped Y amount of people, gathered Z amount of volunteers. You want to actually do something. And if all this stuff sounds too much, scale things down a bit and start a service initiative. Rebrand. Don't formalize anything. Keep things small scale but high impact. Basically, you try and make as big of an impact as you can in just your own community and keep it limited to there. And doing a service initiative instead of a formal nonprofit, it doesn't take anything away in terms of college admission. I did my research on this. Colleges seem to care more about what you did than the title you held anyways. So this is what I'm doing in the future. I'm definitely not doing a nonprofit. That gets too much into the technical stuff. I was just like, oh, a nonprofit. Okay, I mean, I can help people and stuff because I love to help people, right? I was like, no, that's too much legal stuff for me to handle. So I'm just going to keep things small scale, okay. But I just want to help people, honestly. So if that's also what you think, then you can do that too. Just do what works for you. The goal is helping people ultimately. Our next idea is a bit more targeted and not as adaptable to many interests, but it is still a great one nonetheless. And that is starting a neighborhood history project. This project would involve interviewing longtime residents in your community, gathering their stories, and documenting the changes they've witnessed over time. You can present these narratives in a variety of ways, such as a podcast, a YouTube series, or a blog. This is great for college applications because it highlights your interpersonal and your communication skills, as you will be conducting interviews and presenting stories. Second, it demonstrates your community engagement and an interest in understanding its history. Lastly, it shows your ability to take and complete a long-term project, a trait colleges value. This project is really great if you want to do something down the line that has to do with history, journalism, sociology, communication, urban studies. There are many angles you could take to adapt this project on that too. It's not confined to just history, which is the most obvious one. I want to study architecture after high school, and I still love history. Anyone who has an interest in the stories your neighborhood holds and wants to share those stories can do this one. Hard passion project idea number 5 is writing a book. This one is really adaptable, expanded version of writing a short story or flash fiction for people who want more depth or have more time to dedicate. I will say that writing a book is actually hard. It is not hard to do, as in it's a big time commitment. It's actually really, really hard to do. And that's why you don't see many high school students, writing and publishing an entire book. But don't let the difficulty of it scare you away. Letting yourself be scared of hard things and then running away from them is the exact opposite of what you should do. The difficulty of these harder projects is exactly what makes them so impactful and rewarding. And writing a book may seem like it's just for writers, but it can be beneficial to really anyone. You can write a book on anything, literally anything. Despite the takeover with the internet, you can still walk into a library and find a book on just about any topic your heart could possibly desire. I don't really have much to say on this. I would say just start. Starting is the hardest part of doing anything great. Open up a Google Doc and start writing, brainstorming. The rest will work itself out later. With really any writing you do, it's never going to be first draft and done, especially when it's as large as a book. You are going to have to endlessly revise, and it's going to feel like hell. I'm not saying from experience, but I do have a lot of other writing that isn't books and know firsthand from those experiences that it takes an endless amount of editing and revision, and you may never be done. You may just decide, fine, this is good enough. But ultimately, something I've learned as a writer is that writing is never done. There's no such thing as, this is perfect. You just get to a point where you feel that it's good. It's like you get to a certain point where you're like, this is it. This is me. This is my work. And once you get to that point, it's technically done. That's what the feeling of done is like when it comes to writing, because in reality, there's no such thing as ever being done with your writing. There's so much you can change. There's always so much you can change, but it's really about choice. Anyways, you may or may not have the entire book memorized by the time you have a finished product. And you'll probably have about 50 people read it. You will have so many people read it, probably. But writing is fun, I promise you. It is so much fun. And anyways, the difficulty of it is what makes it so impactful. A college is going to understand that, oh, this person challenges themselves, and they don't shy away from difficulty. And that is something they're going to love to see. Number 6 is creating an app or website. I don't know crap about anything fancy technology or more specifically coding related. That's my younger brother. My younger brother loves this stuff. He's 10, but he already says he wants to do something with creating apps or websites like web development or something. I don't really know. It bores me to death, so I really don't know. I remember how in middle school, my parents would always try and convince me to sign up for like computer science electives, especially my dad because he works in IT. But I always refused, and last year I told my mom if she made me take robotics, I would not be speaking to her again. Bit dramatic, a bit of an exaggeration, but that was the end of that story, and my parents gave up on it since then. So, moral of the story, I hate coding and complex technology, but a lot of people out there really love this stuff. Technology-related careers are definitely going to boom in the next decade or so with the rise of AI and everything, so it's something more and more people are getting into. And what better way to explore those interests than creating an app? Creating an app is apparently fun to anyone who enjoys that type of stuff. My brother loves it, so I'm taking that from him. This one is really hard, not because it's a big time commitment, although that is a big part of it, but because coding an app as a high school student is insane. I think I would rather die, but that's my personal opinion on this. I'm very biased. So, however, if you are passionate about tech, create an app that solves a real world problem, whether in your community or beyond. The fact that you are a high school student with limited resources and time, create a whole functioning app or website that solved a real problem is truly amazing on college applications. It shows initiative, interest, impact, critical thinking, perseverance, essentially everything. Very impressive if you can pull it off successfully. Idea number 7 is starting a business of any sort. Like I said, even though it is a target and interest business, it is also very adaptable. Like I said in the previous episode, because one of the ideas was a low-key version of a business by selling old stuff on Depop or Facebook Marketplace, I was saying that business concepts are everywhere. Business is in literally everything. Every company, business, organization. So a good understanding of these business principles can only help you in the real world. I know that in college, no matter what my major is, I am 1,000% taking up a minor in business. Anyways, starting a business of some sort is a really great passion project, and it's not necessarily hard. I mean, I wouldn't say it's hard. I don't really know, but it does take time and effort to learn about how businesses work, to come up with product ideas, to create something, to keep track of everything like logistics and this and that and blah, blah. The list goes on and on forever. It's a crap ton of work, but hey, again, it's very rewarding and very impactful if done right. You can start a business for literally anything. Again, with the rise of the digital world, selling digital products is a great idea. I don't know a whole lot about that, but you can definitely do your research. Seems to work very well for a lot of people. I've always seen so many of those like insane success stories about, I started selling digital products and I quit my job and I became really rich. I don't know. But yeah, it seems to work very well if you do it right. I remember I used to want to start an Etsy store to sell homemade jewelry when I was in high school. I always told myself I would do that, but I really don't think I can do it anymore because of all my time commitments. There's no way I could add that to everything else I'm doing, but an Etsy store is a really great option if you're crafty and you love making things. Handmade items sell for quite a band. You can really do anything with this one. And starting a business can be also kind of fun. Like, it always seems kind of fun to me. I'm like, oh, starting a business. Like, I don't know. I used to want to start my own business after high school at some point. but now I don't really think I want to do that. I don't know, but it always seemed kind of fun. Plus, it's an added bonus that you can use the money for your college degree because those are never cheap. They're pretty expensive. Anyways, idea number 8 is starting a YouTube channel. I have always loved this idea. Again, I love content creation, so it is no surprise, but a YouTube channel seems really, really fun nonetheless, and it's very adaptable to any interests. I've thought about starting a YouTube channel or like an Instagram page where I post short form videos concerning women's rights, but I don't think I have the time for that. It's an amazing way to express your creativity, connect with a global audience, and learn many valuable skills. The first step is obviously figuring out what you're going to create videos about. It can be anything from social issues to cooking to fitness, art, music, academic interests. It should be a reflection of what you love. Once you have your topic, start planning content. Decide if you're going to do short form or long form videos. This is really important to ensure success. Also, create a consistent posting schedule because I do it once a week for my podcast because that's a good pace I can definitely sustain. Well, not that I actively started creating time for the podcast. Anyways, posting videos regularly keeps your audience engaged and coming back for more. Plus, it will help your videos actually come up in search results. The algorithm will favor your content and show it to more people in search results if you post consistently. Quality is also really important. People don't want blurry visuals and choppy audio, so you want to invest in creating high quality content so people will actually watch it. Like I said, last episode for something, Canva is great for simple video editing, but it still gets you super high quality content. I use Riverside to edit my podcast audio. It's also very simple to use, plus it has the helpful AI tools. Just have fun with it, obviously. Idea number 9 is a really, really good one for any interest, actually, not just anything STEM or sciencey, and that is launching your own independent research project. Colleges love to see research because it shows initiative, intellectual curiosity, critical thinking, and so much more. If you're curious about anything, if you have a question that keeps you up at night or something like that, if you just have something you want to explore, you can do research. You can do research on it. But yeah, that's the first step, coming up with a question you want to explore. Again, it can be literally anything you can possibly think of, whether that's analyzing the effects of climate change on your local community, analyzing social media trends, or cancer research. Anything you want to learn more about. Obviously, it's preferable to choose a research area that relates to what you want to study in the future. But once you have your research question, you need to collect information from existing sources. This involves a lot of reading, from books to articles to previous research papers. You might also reach out to experts in the fields for interviews or different insights. You would be surprised at how many people are willing to help out high school students. So use that angle to your advantage. As you gather more information on your topic, you will start to form your own conclusions. But the project doesn't just stop at collecting your information. You have to synthesize your findings into a final output that best represents your work. The most common form is obviously a research paper. You could also post your findings on a blog, create a presentation to present at a conference, and really you can do anything. Always submit to competitions and research journals that accept student entries. What's it called? It's like the Concord something that accepts a lot of student entries. It's very, very prestigious, very selective, and if you do get selected, great additional college applications. So yeah, definitely try to submit to competitions and those research journals. The goal is technically to get published and put it out in the world in some form. Colleges love seeing independent research projects because they demonstrate a wide variety of skills, initiative because you're taking on a significant project, intellectual curiosity as you're going beyond schoolwork to explore a topic fully on your own, critical thinking because you're not just absorbing information but analyzing it and systemizing it. So if you're curious and love asking the why and how beneath things, this is the one for you. Our very final passion project idea is a bit more targeted but well suited to my creative people, and that is creating an art exhibition. This is not limited to traditional painting or sculpture. Your exhibition could be anything from photography to digital art to mixed media pieces to really anything you're passionate about. Art takes place in so many more forms than drawing or painting, contrary to what most people seem to think. Creating an art exhibition allows you to showcase your work and share your unique artistic vision. This project is a massive time commitment because art doesn't get quickly. It is a long, extensive process that requires lots of hours, starting over, and pain. But it's ultimately worth it. That's why people love art. You can create art about literally anything you want to express. That's just the beauty of it. You can express your ideas on anything you want to express. It's really truly a testament to your skills to combine creativity with project management, to commit to a long-term goal, and to effectively communicate your vision to an audience. It's an endeavor that not only showcases your artistic talent, but also your ability to conceptualize, organize, and present a comprehensive project, and really just like, it's really great. An art exhibition is a profound personal project that allows you to share a piece of your world, your thoughts, and your creativity with other people. Okay, so those were all the passion project ideas I had to share. I hope this episode helped you and that you're going to try out at least one of these ideas, whether it's from today's episode or last week's. This episode was a lot of fun for me, but also really, really hard, so please spread the word. Anyways, to end off our episode today, I have a quote for you guys from Howard Thurman, and it goes, "Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it." Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. Bye, guys. Rate, review, follow, and share this podcast. Please, please, please go follow me on Instagram at The Globe Guide Podcast. Drink some water, and I love you all.